Oh, all right, everybody. So this is the live before ECC. I was supposed to leave tomorrow morning to get out there, but not going to be able to make it. I will be out there either Thursday morning early if I get to Ackworth tomorrow evening late, or I'll be there probably around noon time on Thursday. So I will be there taking the canopy, taking some executioners, taking different parts and pieces, all that stuff. I know I forgot something. I wanted to show you guys the new short skid for the executioner. I can show it to you on the truck. I forget which one it is that has it. All right. Okay, that's the V1 right there. Let me see. Let me get my volume turned down. I think I know what I'm doing by now. Charles Pope, what's up, buddy? Tommy Tyson, where is everybody? I don't know. We'll find them eventually. But I'm glad Tommy's here. That's a good thing. We've also got in June 21st and 22nd, I believe it is, the first ever Exofest at Cherokee Rock Village. So we've got that going on. And I've already got one that's going to happen down in around the Tampa area of Florida. It's going to be in January. So I would like to take this to the next level. Axial Fest comes back next year. They can have their spot. I'll move mine a little closer to the coolness. That's where I'll do mine. But yeah, I like to keep Cherokee, DFD down bottom, down south. They got all the parking, they got all the everything you need, all the facilities, everything. That's a big deal. I would like to take ExoFest a little bit more Central America and possibly not Central America, but like Central US, somewhere in there, and possibly take it west. But it's going to take a lot of work to get there, as I would like to have maybe 3, maybe even 4 ExoFests a year. But it's going to take a lot of work. This first one is very important to see where I can go with this. But I'm going to work with the different local clubs. I've got to have facilities. I've got to have everything's got to come together for me to have a location. It can't just be my backyard. Not going to work. So it's a little bit more than that. I want to cover racing, off-road racing, on-road racing. I'm fine with having a theme. Like if there's a part where there's a bunch of on-road stuff going on, let's have an on-road ExoFest. Boom, let's go. There's a pond, let's do boats. I mean, I'm not going to limit to just crawlers. You see what I'm saying? I want to cover the entire aspect of RC because I like to cover the entire aspect of RC as well. See, spatial, dude, I would love to get to Utah, but I'm going to need some help with the different groups because you guys are going to have to like operate your event within the event, if that makes any sense. So it's one of those things. Freestyle session. The only skate park that I know of is about maybe 35 to 40 minutes away. I haven't been there during the week to see if there's any kids out there, but the last few times I have went, which has been months ago, no kidding, there's always kids out there. So we'll have to see. Plus I got to see what I'm willing to take and destroy. Because, man, you go to a skate park, you're breaking something. Yeah, and I do not have skills at Kamikaze. Even though he shows his bloopers sometimes where this stuff just goes flying. It happens, man. You don't get it every time. All right. RC Adventure got the RLR JK07. Nice job, buddy. Chainsaw, what's up, buddy? Throttle Overkill, what's up? Rob Conant, yes, sir. Paul King, message retracted. He must have said something bad. Andrew Diddle, what's up? Larry, what's up? So NHRC, like that. Spatial, yes, sir. I saw you earlier. Yes, sir. Welcome. Freestyle session in a skateboard. Yep. Never go to a skate park. I'll drag him. He'll never go to a skate park. Now, Clayton, you bring your Gorgon down here. We'll go to this skate park. I will take you to the skate park. We will take both of our Gorgons and we will bring both of them back in pieces. Well, yours will be. Mine will be just fine because mine never breaks. Cherry Pit, what's up, buddy? So, oh man, so today I finalized. If you look at the website, if you look at the pinned post, I'm not sure how long these codes are going to last. Live 5 is 5% off your order at exocagedrc.com. So that is up. I'm not sure how many codes I've got left in there, but I know there's a few. So, however, this is a J Concepts megalithic. Inside of this is an X code. I've got the X codes. They are listed. I've got to update the picture, but X codes for megalithics, normal 1.9 tires. So yeah, I'm not sure what all else this will actually fit yet. Some of the carcasses inside are close enough that they work. I got to test this with other ones so I can make sure what I know. With the megalithic, we got that one. So, and I also have the megalithic right here for the carbon wheels. This one's in. These are tested. So this right here is the V1. It's got the X codes in it with the deluxe tires. Those were the first ones that I made because that was like my test bed, you know, trying to come up with something for that. ECC, CRV, I'm planning going. Just be there Friday and Saturday, buddy. If you're not comping or anything like that, if you're just going there, just be there Friday morning, stay till they wind it down, and Saturday morning until they wind it down. But pretty much the big thing is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thursday is kind of setup day, and I believe last time they did this, Thursday was when they let the staffers do all their comps. So that way, when everybody is there and comping, they don't have to worry about, you know, trying to take a break and get over and run and all that. Because, I mean, let's face it, you may be there working the event, but you're also a crawler. You also love the competition. So you got to get part of it, you know. Discovery RC, what's up? 2.2 megas. Yeah, as far as the 2.2 megas, you're wanting these for those. It's actually pretty simple to just blow it up with this design right here. The middle is where the action is going to be at, but it's not going to happen before ECC, I'll tell you that. But for right now, the 525 Pro codes, you trim the foams, make all that work, those are perfect in there. That I know. No, not camping yet. Now, well, throttle, if you haven't actually seen Executioners, I'm going to have at least 3 of them there. I've got 5 of these things now. 5. All of them are built different. So, and let me see. This is my newest one. This one right here, you can see the skid's different on it. So it's much more, if I can get this better right here. It's much more aggressive, as you can see. Much more aggressive. And I did a video comparing original V1, which is like a beat up rag doll at this point in time, versus my newest one. There was only a few spots where I thought this was actually better. Honestly, I mean, this is a bad boy truck. So is this one. I also changed something on the skid, and I'm probably going to make this into all the line. But you see, here it's going to be hard to tell. I'll try to point it at it as best I can. Right in the middle here, there's now a separation between the front links. So that should help the roll axis and all that of it. So that's what that should be there for. 10 millimeter separation. As were the original, if I can get this out of the way here. Luckily, the new skid fits the stand. The original is just straight together. So there is a difference on those as far as the geometry goes and all that. But I will have at least 3 of them with me. And I was also requested to bring the big Exo bouncer with me for display purposes. Yeah. So I will have a canopy somewhere. Also have a table. I am authorized to sell executioners and different related parts that will help the event. I'm also going to be donating an executioner for the prizes. So yeah. Let me see. What's ECC? East Coast Crawling Championship. Really, the 3 letters ECC is kind of misleading and so open to interpretation, but East Coast Championships is just what they actually call it. They don't put crawler in there. Bench at work. We're gonna fire it up tomorrow. Clayton. You got your nitro Gorgon ready? Creighton 8S running max 4 at 800 kV. Would you swap to a new max 5? No. I think you're perfectly fine, Spatial. Unless you just want to save weight on an ESC, leave that thing alone and have fun. Simple as that. Thank you, Throttle. I will have them out on display, just like you see right here. I got to print another stand so I can have them set up, plus a little display thing I've got with the chassis and all that. So, Justin Noble, what's up? Okay, Paul, so you ordered the Mias 4-wheel steer axle last night. Nice job. Yes, Nitro, I said Exo Bouncer, I do believe. When is the number 6? Number 6 Executioner. I've already thought about that. I don't have a 4-wheel steer Executioner. I know Paul King is going to have one soon. I don't have a 4-wheel steer Executioner. I have a 4-wheel steer the Moose truck, as I call it. But man, I'll be honest with you, after driving the Moose, there's no more thrill in the Moose truck for me. There just isn't. I did not see the Honcho bumpers. I believe I've got them somewhere in there. Tommy Tyson, will I be home Monday? Probably not Monday. I've got to go visit family on Monday, but I will be home Monday evening late. I'll have to order one of those stands from Executioner chassis. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these are basically popped together. I would recommend a little dab of glue up here on the top, but yeah, they just pop together. Nice, simple, and easy. Whoops. They will fall over, but yeah, I had to, believe it or not, it wasn't like just simply setting the skid on there and just cutting it out and calling it a day. No, I had to do a lot of work to make that stupid thing fit my skid. And no other stand out there is going to fit it. Axle stands, make those pretty easy. But we debating on getting another Executioner and putting the Helium axles on it. Now, I've looked at that. There's a lot of possible interference in that thing. I have looked at that. There's a lot of possible interference in it. Glenn, only because I'm curious, but how far of a drive was it from you to relive to Beat the Creek? Around 13 hours, maybe 14. But I have family in Ackworth, so I went there and then left to go to Beat the Creek. However, coming home from Beat the Creek, I just said the heck with it and drove. So, yeah. And it's odd. With the trailer on the back, I get 1 tank of gas from home to Ackworth. From Ackworth to Beat the Creek is 1 tank of gas. Plus, you got a little bit to run around with, but still, you know, it's really interesting. So basically, it's 2 tanks of gas. Now, as far as the gas goes, as far as driving, I got mileage trackers, dude. That's all a tax write-off. So for me, keeping that 28, 29, 30 miles per gallon is a big deal. So, double A day. No rush. Well, Paul King is saying all kinds of stuff, retracting all kinds of messages. He's going to end up post up a LOL and retract that. You watch. But anyway, I did a video. I got to edit it. If you're a channel member, you already saw the video showing this skid in that first drive. I was running these wheels and tires, but this one I had to have Megs on it. So I had to. I've done enough with the iron rocks. Really, I've done enough with them. So I've got to get Megs on it. Now, I'm going to have a very special tire soon. Very special tire. Uh, let's just say I'm going to call it the Comp Boss, if that makes any sense. A Comp Boss. I'm gonna go ahead and call it the Comp Boss. And Enlightened RC is doing cut and shuts. So he has done a cut and shut on some Boss Mans. And man, I'm telling you what, they're a little bit skinnier than these. So that's going to be a whole new insert, which I should be able to just simply squeeze this and it'll be fine. Should, right? But the way he's got this thing in there is just amazing. Oh, as far as the rock bumps, yeah, that's going to happen. Robert is going to be there, and I will pick up a set of rock bumps. They will be, I believe, they're going to be completely available at Beat the Creek at ECC. So yeah, so the rock bumps, those are there. I'm not sure the overall diameter on those. I got to look at the specs, but I believe they're a normal 575 tire. So I'm not sure how these would do expanded that far out, if that makes any sense. I think there might be limits to what this can do with this design. When you expand it, you also have to add more structures and more, I don't want to call them brakes, but you got to add things that work in there. So it's a little bit to it. See, now I've got an idea for a tire, but I can't find a maker that'll make the tire without me having to front $20,000 that I don't have. I have an idea for a tire. I would love to have this tire, and this tire would be set up to where, you know how like these right here are really good at holding, and you can see there are features on this tire that really make this tire good. The Megalithic is one of the best tires out there, bar none. I mean, it really is. But like these tires right here, when you get to a certain compound or softness, basically the lugs just simply fall over and all you have is the compound doing the work. What if you could have the lugs that would stand up, still stand up for the most part? I mean, you know it's going to give, but you know, the lugs that would still stand up and give you the compound you need. I've got an idea. I know how to do it, but I got to make it happen. So maybe after everything gets settled internationally, I will be making that trip to China. So there's about 3 or 4 companies over there that I want to go visit, and I will have some meetings, and I'm going to try to get stuff. I'll leave it at that. I really want to go a lot further than where I'm at right now, in ways that I don't know that everybody can go, but it's something I'm working on. All right. Oh. Anyway, if you guys go to the website, Live 5 right now, discount there. I believe, was it Marcus mentioned that the free code is still working, which is free shipping. By the way, this is only a 1-hour live tonight because I've got a massive amount of stuff I got to get done. I've still got editing. I still have to work on my Helamon. I've got all the Vidavon stuff for it. Still don't have front axles though. I'm trying to, I told Arthur exactly what to do to make the front axles where they won't break. Exactly what to do. I'm just waiting on getting the axles. Rock bumps, dirty nipple, dirt nipple, dirt nipple. Well, you know how they do if you made them for my 6 like I asked. Yes, I know, Justin. I know. What would you recommend for a tire? I'm going to retire the Tusks. They let me down this weekend. I had 0 grip with them. Tusks usually do really darn good around here. I know Proline is big, and I had a really good run with that new high Hyper ESC, still in here, by the way. I like that ESC. I had a really good run in my original Superlight SV1. Really good run with it in there on the Pro lines. But man, out here where we run, J Concepts just owns it. And it's ruptures like what they're saying right here, and Megs. And the Tusks are really good, especially a place like Cherokee. Tusks do really good up there because it's more like a sandstone, really grippy stuff. And I was told that out west, where you guys run comps out west, it's twice as grippy as it is here at Cherokee. And I'm like, dude, out there in that case, that's where you need the Proline G8 codes, not the Predators. Because from what I understand, you run a comp with Predators, you got slicks at the end because it's so grippy out there. I've never been there, so I can only, speculate from what I've been told. A bit of on, especially at the price. H10, yeah, for sure. I've got the H10 axles in one of my Executioners now. Yeah, a little bit all bud. Moves megalithics. David Garner motorcycle sport bike tires. I have 2-stage rubber soft bottom. Not so soft. See, the 2-stage rubber like David Garner is talking about, I would like to get that in the scale world. I would like to have a harder compound on the sidewalls and have a soft compound at the tread. In some cases, it's like with the Megs and at the real serious competitions, the reason why the Iron Rocks don't have anything on the side is because they want the tread to work. They don't want the side to grab and mess you up. Out here, though, we kind of like having a little side biter because it allows us to grab a hold and pull. So it's two different theories as far as driving style and possibly where you're at. So it's just kind of one of those things. But having a harder compound here, okay, would also reduce the traction here. Having a softer, stickier compound here, that would be a really nice thing to have. Can it be done in RC world? I don't know. Maybe. Don't know. Tusk kind of let me down this Saturday at our comp. We were outdoors and they worked, but the Tusks weren't taking a liking to the rock we were on. I swapped the ruptures on my C3 and hooked it all. J Concepts has told me several times, it's the same green compound that they've been using. The same green compound. I find that hard to believe, man. Because it's almost like the compounds are different. Even though they're labeled green, it's just like there's something else here. I don't know. Maybe they got somebody there to coat it in some kind of special sauce or something. I don't know, but they're awesome tires, man. What's up, Kenneth? The only new info is that I've expanded my line of X codes out to different tires. The J Concepts megalithics and normal 1.9s. You don't have to have the carbon wheels. I really like the carbon wheels. That groove is just so nice in there. It really is. Cross Keys Crawlers, what's up? I guess I'm buying some tires in the States. Might go with ruptures unless I find something else. Now, when you're here, chances are Sean may have it in stock out there. Heck, we were looking for Bossmans for like a month to try to get some Bossmans. And I said, Sean, we finally got Bossman. He goes, yeah, I've had like 3 sets. And I'm like, I don't even go shopping, and it's right here on my property. I need to go shopping and just snooping around at least once a week to see what he's got. I don't even go in there. I go to like the front door and stuff. I don't even mess around with it in there. I really don't. This is my little kingdom right here. You think it's just a tread pattern, Justin? You think it's just the tread pattern getting it done, or what? I don't know, man. It's like I almost think there's more to it than just a tread pattern. Maybe some magic spells or something. I don't know. Baja Pro X's are nice. They're very aggressive, especially dirt terrain, sandy, dirty dirt terrain. Man, I don't think anything can touch a Baja Pro X. They're just awesome. They really are. Have a great and busy night. Oh, it's going to be busy, all right. That's for sure. So at ECC, I'm going to bring. We've got a few chassis of other trucks I'm going to bring too, see if they'll sell, and just to see what I can do out there. I'm not comping, but I'm videoing and doing my thing and all that. So that's going to be ECC. After ECC in May, I think the next event is Exofest. So, yeah. Oh, we picked up M2C Racing as a sponsor for Exofest. So, got some nice stuff coming from him. Jack's RC Recycle Repair, he's also a sponsor. So, we have picked up a few more sponsors on here. 525 Tusk. Yep, those are good ones. Do not put Thor for sale or bring it to ECC. I took Thor to I took Thor to Halloween Hauler Crawl by Georgia Rock Zombies, and it was the first time I've had it up there. And man, those poor servo horns didn't like it. I had to upgrade both my servo horns. I had little cheap junkers off of Amazon for like $1.50 or something like that. You know, they were fine around here, but not up there. Not there, buddy. I mean, Thor is sitting over there. It's just sitting back, relaxing, collecting dust. Someone asked about that Hyper ESC and it cogged during sensorless operation. There's a lot of settings that you can do on that. Now, in the video in SV1, it was censored. In the videos that you'll see of me driving this one, it's on a Holmes Crawlmaster team spec. I haven't noticed the cogging, but it is uncensored. And if you've got something rubbing on the motor right here, or if you've got something really bound up, yes, it will. If your gearing is wrong, gearing is a major big thing when it comes to this kind of stuff like this. These trucks right here, because of the OD3 transmission and the portal gears, are naturally geared low. Okay? Naturally. So I'm not sure what the overall ratio is, motor to tire. I want to say it's somewhere around 54, 55 to 1. I know years ago it used to be 45 to 1. That was just like the magic number. Well, it's a little bit higher now because of higher KVs and all that stuff like that. But regardless, I mean, can it cog? Yeah. And if there's an issue, if something's binding or something like that, then yeah, it absolutely can. Now, it does have a FOC style startup on this thing, and that seems to be fine. One thing I haven't noticed with this, some people said it on camera, is that I haven't noticed, like with all these ESCs. Now, all my other ESCs have been AM32. This is an Escape 32, which apparently is very different. And this is, according to them, a real Escape 32 board and programming. So with that in mind, it's real hard to tell when it actually switches from the FOC startup into drive. I can feel it on every other ESC out there. The Python X, when that one is geared correctly, motor-wise and all that, it's hard to tell. But if you're pulling in a hard bind, it'll let you know all about it. So it's one of the things. This one right here seems to just really run smooth. I mean, put it this way. Hyper ESC Holmes Outrunner, uncensored. I liked it so much, I built an entire truck around it. Literally, being able to use this motor with that ESC allowed me to move things forward and give you guys a short skid. That came together and made all of that work. Now, with the Fusion Pros, like I like a lot of those, you can still use that, but you may have to adjust this out because this transmission is 3 millimeters more forward on the skid than what the existing ones are, the older versions, the longer skids. Okay, so with the Reefs and the Deluxe transmission, those are 4 millimeters more forward. Just so everybody's following me here on this. So you may have to make some adjustments. And also with the short skid, you will need, wherever your wheelbase is at, if you're happy with it, you'll need lower links that are 13 millimeters longer than what you have now. So if you decide to do the update to this more aggressive skid, as you see right here, to get a better breakover, you will need a little bit longer lower link. Now, let me get back to all the comments you guys have said, because I got off on a tangent. You guys get me talking on tech stuff, man. I love that. All right, I see something's in a basket. Let me see. Thanks to you, I want an e-bike. Dude, man, dude, that thing is so good. I will be packing one, I think, for ECC. I'll probably pack the smaller one, the one I can fold. The 1200, love it, but it doesn't fold. And at least the other one has a fold capability. That's kind of an important thing when you're packing it in a car or a small trailer. So yeah, I'll probably take that one. Jims, what's up, buddy? On a mini RCR trike. Somebody built one of those out of the Promoto, didn't they? They put a long axle and made a 3-wheeler out of it, basically. RC to the park in my basket. Did you see the basket I put? Well, actually, I put up a video comparing the 3 different Coromas, and dude, it was so bad. We're talking like less than 100 views in 2 hours. I took it down. I'm like, that's a horrible video. Hey, they happen. So I took that down. But if you want to see it, send me an email because it's still up. But I bought this basket and I put on the back of the 1200, and it fits one of these perfectly right in there. Really nice. And I've got a little cover to go over it. So the 1200 is really nice. It really is. But it just doesn't fold, and I need it to fold. I don't need it to jiggle jiggle. I need it to fold. All right. So one of your videos today when you talked about Grand Theft Auto game, what system did you play? You were, Marilyn, you were actually listening. Yes. I think it was San Andreas I played. Now we're talking 100 years ago, back before they started, just microtransactions and just destroying your bank account. I got out of it about the time that came in. So also, when I was into it at that point, when you buy a game, you got the game, not access to the game to pay more. So yeah, I haven't messed with it much more. I need to find my old Xbox 360. I had a Wolverine game on there. Man, that thing was so much fun. Golly. But just playing solo. Jams. Jenny was holding you up. Just go play. Let me think that if you can do 2 rubber compound, depending on where you put it, how much to make a tire put air to it. The problem with the air, okay, is that like a normal truck takes, when you air down, you could be in the single digits. My truck was good around maybe 7 to 8 PSI. And depending on the wheel size, like if I had the 15-inch wheels with 44s, dude, you just falling over. The same thing you get here with the crappy foam, right? They fall over. So it would be even worse here because you would basically have to have ambient pressure, whatever your atmospheric pressure is, and it's just simply going to fold over and fall. So this is why we got the foams. This is why we have internal structures and things in there to hold these tires up. But it has been done, has been tried. I think Gmade had that system for a while, and it was really cool. I almost got it, but I'm glad I didn't. Now, I will tell you this on my, I've done this before. Years ago, my Clodbuster, I took the tires and I forget what glue it was. I don't even know if we had E6000 back then. This was like, the 1940s or something, right? But I took the tire, glued the wheel and the tire together, locked it in there, right? Then I put them in the freezer. And then I took a screw and some glue after everything was cold, the air was dense. I screwed it, sealed the tire, took it out, and they went with this. It was awesome for floating that Clodbuster, man. I floated that thing. It was so awesome. Long, long time ago. I think my Clodbuster still had plastic bushings at that point. All right, let me see here. So you got a video review, okay. Big problem, not cheap. 65 a double A day. Now the bikes you're talking about, the 6500s, those are nice. I tried to message them on Instagram. They like responded one time and then ignored me. I'd love to have a full suspension e-bike with 2 motors. Awesome. But they ain't gonna deal with me, especially when my e-bike videos are horrible. So all my videos are horrible. My thought is inserts are as important, if not more important, than tires. In case I'm wrong, I'll order some metal. Dude, inserts are very important. There are guys out there, they are still, if it's not CI foam, they don't want to touch anything else. I get it. Foams have their value. They really do, which is why I have the Pro Codes. You get the foam drive and the sidewall support of a printed insert. In my opinion, it's like CI evolved. And then you got guys out there that when they get them, they throw the foams immediately into the trash. They've either got new inserts already or they're on order. So it's like two different thoughts. I know in the WRCCA, like the MOA, Sporty, and stuff like that, they generally tend to stay to the two-stage foams by CI. And they have their overdrive that they've got, especially on like the MOA, they can overdrive more or less, which means they can make that front end pull more as needed, which can, in some cases, take the whole push away. Because like you take one of these and you put foams in it and you're just pushing, that tire is just rolling over really bad, right? I don't have a tire without anything in it. I got this over here. Yeah. So like, and you're driving and it's just pushing and rolling over. Well, as you're trying to steer and it's pushing and rolling over, guess what? You're going straight. You put a lot of overdrive to it, and now this tire isn't pushing, it's pulling. So it's a whole different way of driving, especially when you're talking MOAs, dual motors, stuff like that. So it's just a whole different way of going, you know? So it's just one of them things. I've got these, I've almost got the X codes ready for these. These are by J Concepts. These are really good tires. The problem is they're a bit fat. But I don't think they're too much fatter than these, but they just seem like they're a big fat tire. But regardless, we got some skinny ones coming. All right, let me see here. 8 PSI on a Jeep with no bead locks on everywhere. See, I used to do that too, Justin. Until you knock a few tires off, and then you're like, oh, the heck with this, man. I remember one time I knocked both left side tires off. My truck had 2 winches. Literally, I had the front winch here, the rear winch up. I picked the entire side of the truck up, and we had to reseat them. Luckily, I had an air suspension on this truck. Yeah, really. So I had a full York air compressor. I had all that. So I had all kinds of air. But yeah, that was a pain. And then when you bust a tire loose when you're bouncing around raising sand, and you happen to be in the water, and you got tire about this much full of water when you finally get it to rebead, and then you have to drive the truck back to your hotel like that, dude. Never again. I ended up with 16.5 Hummer bead locks on the last set of tires, which were the 43 SX tires by Swamper. Those were the final set of tires on my truck before I finally left that world and went back into this world. So that's kind of why you'll see me more passionate about the crawlers, because that's what I used to do in real life. So it's just kind of one of those things. Talk about if you put stiffer sidewalls on it. Well, see, a properly designed insert, David, to my right here. If properly designed insert will have that stiffer sidewall built into it. But if you're talking the rubber on the tire, you can do that two ways. If you can do the dual compound rubber on there, or you just make the carcass thicker on the sides than you do out here. So you can kind of do that one of two ways. But a good insert, like the Excodes, will have that rigidity here, but still absorb and take the hits. That's what I like about these. Are they legal? I believe the Bossmans are legal. The tires that I'm wanting to run, the cut Bossmans or comp bosses as I'm calling them, no, they're not legal anywhere. I don't think. 1.9 brass faces, dude. They're in the States. I ordered 200 more of them. They're in the States, and hopefully, God, I hope they come in tomorrow, because I've got to leave either first thing Thursday morning or late tomorrow evening. I've got to get out of here, and I would love to take these with me to ECC. But if I don't have them, I don't have them. I know. It's kind of one of those things. I've got the new camera. I've got that, and I will be practicing with that a little bit at ECC. I've done a couple little runs to it, and I've got the app on my computer. I want to do computer editing through that Insta app. I think it'll be a little better edit and all that. And I did it has an AI edit to it, right? And I did the AI, and man, I was running the Helamon for this, and it was like cutting. It was like a 4-minute video. It cut it down to 55 seconds. But man, it had almost all the good spots already in it. It missed some of the flips and stuff like that. And I was like, man, this is awesome. And then for some reason, one of the clips was my big fat butt looking down at the camera. I'm like, okay, I can't post this. Yeah, I'm like, dude. Otherwise, I'm like, man, that AI edit was good. I get that AI edit down, man, I'll be able to post up some really nice shorts. You know, just pop them up. I got to learn how to do the parameters and set stuff like that as best I can, because, you know, YouTube, 1 minute is what you get. So I think it'll be awesome, man. Just let the AI do the thing. Ah, sweet. Pop it up. Done. Be awesome, man. Make things easy. But it is the Insta360 X5. I paid just over $600 for this thing off of Amazon. RC Daily, what's up? Don't know, David. Cross Keys crawlers, buddy. Yes, sir. I'm liking the Excodes. I beat the brakes off my Cooper tires. I haven't lost a bead yet. What size are your tires? Mine were 44s. 44s on 15s, by the way. So I had a massive amount of sidewall. And you're talking 44s. I mean, heck, they run 10 PSI on the street. So I might have been 4, 5 PSI when I knocked the thing off. Now, when I did, that was when I was in lower 2 at Teleco. I had 46-inch claws on 15s. Those are the ones I knocked both the left side off. So, yeah, that was a heck of a thing there. And those tires, man, they probably needed 3 PSI because they were so fat and all that. They had so much flotation to them. But like I say, my final set was a set of 43-inch SX Swampers on Hummer double beadlocks. And it was actually interesting because I got the beadlock, I got the outer rings. I ordered them from somebody. Then I ordered the centers, the 8-lug centers for them. And no kidding, I literally put them on my hubs. I set my own back spacing. I trued them up. And believe it or not, for what I was doing off-road, I think I did pretty good. I did all the welding on them. I welded everything into the middle, all that stuff. So those were days long ago, though. I don't want to do that again. If I ever get rich, there's two companies that I would like to get a real balancer with. One, Busted Knuckle. And number two is Tim Bacon. I'd like to get this guy to build me a balancer. But it's one of them things to where I don't want to build it. I'll maintain it. I really don't want to do the work on it, but I want to enjoy it. The other part that comes with having a real balancer is I will then have to get another pull truck and another trailer and go through all of that stuff again. So by the time I'm done, you could be talking the way truck prices are now, a diesel puller truck, you know, because it's got to be like a King Ranch 4x4, you know, it's got to have something decent with the trailer. And dude, you'd be talking $200,000+. No, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Tire ball. I remember tire balls, tire beads. I tried them in mine back when I was trying to balance 44-inch Swampers on 15-inch wheels. Yeah, I had to powder the little bead things you put in there. Man, none of that stuff worked. Because you're running 43-inch stickies, they must have a real tight bead, or your wheels have a good bead ridge or something. But yeah, mine, yeah, I had issues with mine. Ford ton. 35s on 15, so going to be 37. Oh, 35s? Yeah, 35s stick pretty good, man. Yeah, you get you some 44s and put them on that 15. That's when you'll notice, man, you want to air down so the tire can suck up and work, but then you notice it's like, why am I swaying a foot one way or the other? Because that tire is just rolling. Nate's RC, what's up? Until like in the late 90s, went to Georgia, some 85 Toyota pick. When I first went to, you rolled it on lower two. I never rolled on lower two, but man, coming out of the top of that, a lower two was awesome. Did you ever go up upper two? I went up and down upper two. Man, what an off-camber thing going down, man. Holy moly. I also went down Trail 7, which was Peckerwood. I was on 35-inch boggers at that time with a full-size F-150. Ha! And I was still running a Dana 44 front with a 9-inch rear. Yeah, it was my first time ever at Teleco. 100K just for a King Ranch 450. I know, dude. It's crazy. iPhone user 104. Man, I'm a Ford guy at heart, but I've had Fords, I've had Chevys, Hyundais, I had Mitsubishi. So, I mean, it's like my last truck was a Chevy Suburban. Go figure, you know? I run beads in the 5 on Super Duty, run smooth as glass. You got the beads in your 30 on your Super Duty? I never had that, but then I had the 34-inch. I don't think it was a King Ranch, but it was the 20-inch wheels off of one of the newer 2005 Ford F-250s or something like that. Is what I had on mine, the 20s. A TUT utility vehicle made in Minnesota, so not better than a shirt. I have not seen the Toot or Tutankhamun. Well, tire ballast beads on tire balls. They were small air bladders that acted like an inner tube. Okay, I haven't seen those, Justin. Didn't come out of Trail 7. Man, Trail 7, that was Peckerwood, I believe, what you're talking about. Went down it and up it, man. One of the craziest things was going up guardrail. dude, you hit guardrail right up the thing. But you mess up and that right side falls in that hole that was kind of off to the right hand side, like my buddy and his TJ. Luckily, at that time, we were actually thinking safety. We had his winch cable out to a tree saver on there. Dude, I kid you not. He was sitting there. He was coming up this thing, blah, blah, blah. He was almost talking smack. And all of a sudden, that tire went in the hole. Literally, I kid you not, it went bing. It was like this. Cable, boom, caught him, pulled him down, and he goes, I think my pants might be dirty. Yeah, dude. And this is before they put the big net up there. All it had was the rail down at the bottom, which had dirt pushed all the way up to it, so it wasn't even really a rail. Later on, they put that big steel net up there, big cable net. This was before that, man. Had we not had the cable out there, he might have went down the mountain. Yeah, and then going up helicopter pad, had the rock on the left side called Rainbow Rock because it had all kinds of colors from paint where everybody slams it. I left some paint on it too, but I made it up. I did. Then you go down school bus afterwards. Now, overland, I got to be honest with you. On one of my trips, I was coming down school bus after driving up guardrail, driving up helicopter pad. We're talking driving up these things. I mean, just going, right? And I may have told this story before, but I heard a snap. The gasket on the oil pump, the pickup tube, broke off. Don't ask me how, but it broke off, went into the oil pump, locked up the oil pump, which then sheared the roll pin on the distributor gear. It took me a while to figure out that although the engine was turning over, there was no spark. It's got gas. Finally pulled the cover off the distributor cap, and the little button was just doing this number right here. It wasn't actually rotating. And then it came to me. Oh man, dude, I had my exhaust under my oil pan, everything. I had to drop the exhaust, drop the oil pan, drained it into a cooler, dropped the oil pan, took the oil pump off, took it apart, cleaned it out, put it all back in, and then later that night, my buddies came back with a case of oil and a new distributor. Dude, I tell you what, at night, you're talking about you're doing a night run up there. That was the worst body damage I ever got, was coming down school bus at night. Those rocks, they went from 1 foot tall to 4 foot tall. They were bad, dude. I was slamming the walls, all that stuff, dude. But that was a heck of a story, and I will never forget it. Kenneth, on the Muse axles, do you grind the stops all the way down, or you leave a little on? I leave a little bit on them. I don't grind them all the way down. The goal is to at least have this contact, at least a little bit, to actually stop it from, possibly breaking stuff. But like on this particular one, my tie rod is hitting the diff. So I can do a little tweak on that and get more out of it. On the newest one over here, I moved my tie rod a little bit better. It's a little bit out for a little bit. Kind of stinks being stuck out a little bit further, but I get all of that with it. So, and I actually had to turn my steering down a little bit when I ran it with these tires, because these tires were all up into here. I can put a little bit wider hub on here, in which I'm probably going to go ahead and do that just to get a little bit more width so I can get that turned back to it. But the biggest thing about these is getting that pass through straight, nice and clean. That's a big deal for me. Same with the front. I mean, it's pretty clean. It does have some knuckle here, but it's not like a TRX4 knuckle, or it's not like somebody with a TRX4 or even an SCX truck with big stupid wideners and you got all that crap hanging out. So I'm not a fan of that. Never been a fan of that. But oh, its side hills so good. But what about everything else? There's more to life than side hilling. 20 by 12 with 250 tires shall offer them. No. I use equal tire ballast in the semi-truck. Semi-truck steers. Now, I do believe it will work good in a semi-truck, though. But I've never had a semi-truck. Shouldn't rig up there because of how rough it was. We made some great memories. Man, I tell you what, Overland, that logging company, they used Trouts Unlimited with that stupid brown trout. They worked them, they played them like a fiddle. And as soon as they shut everything down, they went in and logged the hell out of it. Yeah. I remember going in there on Trail 5. Yeah, it was Trail 5. They were building that bridge. And I remember, I'm like, man, that bridge sure is beefy for trail trucks, isn't it? It wasn't for trail trucks. It was for logging trucks and heavy equipment. So, yeah, I remember all that, buddy. I think some of the obstacles are still there, but most of it's grown up and over. I mean, heck, it's been how many years? It's been forever, hasn't it? Been a long time since we go. I mean, at the final point, man, it was I was trailering my truck from the Best Western in Murphy by across from the Walmart. Well, I was trailering it in and then parking at the big parking area and then driving in. But Tellico was one of them places, man. When you go in there and you're driving your truck, you better bring spare parts. You better bring your tools, a tire. You had better go prepared. If not, you may very well spend the night there. Or you're going to have a long walk out. Because once you're on the trails, it wasn't like the last times I was at the parks. It was like what I call an obstacle park. Basically, you're driving down a nice graded road, there's your obstacle. Driving down, there's another obstacle. It was what I was calling obstacle parks, not trail parks. Now, do these other parks have trails? Yes, they of course they do. But it was just more of an obstacle park to me, especially having been on Tellico. You know, 20 years it's been closed. Man, I remember one time me, Roy, Barry, and Buzz, they had this little, like a all-you-can-eat buffet right there close to the Best Western. I only went to it like twice, okay? It wasn't there very long, but I used to go to Tellico like 2 or 3 times a year. But I remember one guy was in there because we were talking about the trails and all this, and I believe it was one of them guys that was there that was looking at the place and all like that. And we told him, I was like, look, we come from Florida. This is like dream come true trip for us. You know, we explained that we're here for the experience and all that stuff. You know, we didn't, I don't think we realized it at that time, but that may have been one of the guys in charge. I mean, we talked it up good, you know, this was before cab trucks really took off. There were a few buggies, but the bouncer revolution never hadn't happened then. So bouncers were not a thing. So it was just one of those things. It was one of those chance encounters, you know. Dude, you're talking Fordyce Trail. I would love to get out there. There are so many trails out there. Moab, Utah was always a dream trip for me. You know, a dream. And we actually had planned to have all of our vehicles hauled out there on a semi and then fly in, which never happened. But yeah, getting out there would be like that's a bucket list thing for me to get out there. Fordyce, I know if sometimes you'll hear me when I'm doing those small scale stuff, there's this little wooden thing like this. I call it the dump bump because I think it was in Moab they had the dump bump there. And it was just a simple hump that the short wheelbases would have an issue falling over. It would dump you over. So I remember seeing the big Blazer that came off a Lion's back. I remember seeing that. I mean, heck, I hosted the SETTC here in Florida. I had Robin Stover, Toby Lavender. They brought Mega Titan all the way out here, all the way across the country. And they broke the heck out of that truck. Bad. bad they broke it. But no, those were times gone by. Times gone by. Well, guys, we need to wrap this up so I can go ahead and get started on other things around here. Check website, check orders, get things packed, and I've also got to somehow dig into my trailer and start getting that cleared so I can get that loaded. And Helaman, I got to get that done. I got to figure out exactly what I'm taking, start packing. I've got print jobs going right now of the short skids that take with me to ECC. I'd love for the brass to show up tomorrow. I really would, but I don't think it's going to be here. 525. Brad, buddy, at CRV, come see me, dude. I'll let you squeeze these. But yeah. Another packing video. Man, I haven't done a packing video in forever. I'll come by to get. You're going to get Sam or you want to get Moose? Paul King, you're wanting to comp with Moose, right? The 4-wheel steer? Because Sam is just a regular executioner, but it's the mullet one. So I know there's one guy coming by tomorrow. He's going to pick up an executioner kit and all that stuff as well. So my event is June 21st and 22nd at CRV. Pulled pork. Okay. You got brass. Be here tomorrow. What brass you got? All right. So anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys later. And time to wrap all this up. All right. All right. Catch you guys later. Let me wrap this up. Y'all have a good one, and we get back to work. I'm getting old.